LifeWorks is a nonprofit serving adults with developmental disabilities. We are a day program, so that means that we provide services Monday through Friday during the daytime. So please don't call me later and say, I would like to work with you in the evening or on the weekend, because I won't be there and neither will anyone else. We are the largest day program in the state of Minnesota, and we have 8 program locations. 7 of them are in the metro area, and 1 is in Mankato. The people that we serve all have a diagnosis of a developmental disability. Primarily, it is mental retardation, but oftentimes there is perhaps a dual diagnosis of also mental illness or some physical disability. You would meet many people who started out just like you. And because of an illness or an accident that occurred before their 22nd birthday, they are now in a program like LifeWorks. Psychologists believe that the human brain is physically growing and developing through that 22nd birthday. And then after that, you've got like a complete set. It doesn't mean you can't still learn things. Like I was just talking to this person at the back of the room, and she was explaining to me what a hotspot is. Well, I don't know that I could repeat her explanation, but I now have more information than I did when I walked in the room. So I can still learn things, but for people whose brain is younger than 22, it's physically growing. So at LifeWorks, we offer 2 programs to the people that we serve. One is called Career Development, and we will help folks find employment in the community. And last year, in 2011, we had almost 700 people with developmental disabilities working for more than 300 employers, earning for themselves more than $4 million in wages. And the average wage of people served by LifeWorks is about $8.36 an hour, which is actually higher than minimum wage. All the people at work are supported by our staff, and we call those staff a job coach. So our job coach's job is to guarantee the success of that person while they're at work. Here in this area, right here in the Bloomington area, we work at Best Buy. We work in their accounting department. We deliver their mail. We actually opened the warehouse area of the REI that is here on 494. We take every piece of clothing out of the boxer bag that it comes in and put it out on the floor. We have a lot of people who work at the Mall of America. We have 18 people who work at the airport. So lots of different jobs. All of them typically would be described as entry-level and highly repetitive. But for folks who don't have work as a goal, maybe their disability is more significant, or maybe they don't want to work, we offer a very strong recreational and lifelong learning program. So we have 2 full-time music therapists at LifeWorks. We have 3 performance bands. One of them is an Elvis cover band called the Musical Syndrome. One is called the AT Real-Time Band, and it is a band made up of people who do not have the ability to play an instrument because of their disability, and they all use communication devices to speak. So we worked with a company called Dynavox, and they make communication devices, and they helped us download lines of music. So in the band, there's a clarinet, there's a saxophone, there's a lead guitar, there's a snare drum, there's a keyboard. And each person operates their device using a head switch, a laser light, a foot tap, a knee tap. The interesting thing that we learned when we started that band is that if you don't have a voice to use to speak, you become really accustomed to turn taking. So someone says something to you, and then you type into your device what you want your device to say, and then I have to patiently, quietly wait. Then the device speaks, then I say something, and it's your turn again. If you're going to play music in a band, you have to work cooperatively, and it was something they had never, ever done. Not ever had they had to share the airspace with someone else. And the first time that they performed, they got a standing ovation, and one gentleman, I noticed I noticed his eyes were tearing up, and I said, "Are you okay, Peter?" And I would say Peter is probably about 35, and he said, "No one has ever clapped for me in my whole life." So that's who you would meet if you came to LifeWorks. We also have a band that we call Rock of Ages. We do partner with McNally Smith School of Music. We have a work-study program where students who are studying to be professional musicians work with our folks. Now, those students play real music, and our guys are the like the backup singers. But it provides them with an opportunity to be on stages really performing. We performed last November at the Grainbelt Bottling House over in Northeast Minneapolis with an event that was sponsored by Rock the Cause, if you've heard of Rock the Cause. And then we also have a performance choir for people who would like to sing. We also have a partnership with the Adler Graduate School for art therapy. So some of our centers do have art therapy interns on site that are helping our folks learn about expression using art as the medium. We believe in volunteering too, and I was very impressed by the number of hours that you said students had given here. Last year at LifeWorks, our clients gave over 7,000 hours back to the community. We are great believers as a nonprofit of not always having our hands in the air, but also being givers. So some of the places that we volunteer are places like Feed My Starving Children, Meals on Wheels, but probably the most interesting place that we volunteer is with Cornell University. At each of our centers, we participate in this. It'll begin in May and it'll go through the summer in data collection as citizen scientists. We are studying 16 urban birds. We gather that information, and then weekly our clients have the opportunity to enter the information onto the Cornell website. So that opens the door to all sorts of other fun things that we like to do, like photography, or like more art or life learning opportunities that are age appropriate and things that as adults we perhaps all would enjoy. I've been at LifeWorks for almost 32 years. I have a child with a disability who was born after I began working there. She has a very mild form of autism, and she is married, and she teaches the 5th grade, and she lives in Florida. So I am probably like one of the biggest cheerleaders you will ever meet for believing that we should never put a limit on human potential. I believe that all people have a gift to give. The thing about being at LifeWorks, the reason I stay there is because I believe that as humans, we all have a responsibility to build communities and societies where everyone is welcome and where everyone's contribution is valued. So if you come to LifeWorks, it may not be right for all of you, but for those of you who do, I think you'll have a wonderful time. I think that you and I would work closely together to find the right spot for you and the right match for your skills, interests, and talents.